Hello and welcome everyone to the round 4 coverage of the Hermanus Chess Club Open. This is the rapid section and currently it is round number 4. As you can see in the footage, we have currently been playing quite well going into this round. We're on 2.5 points out of 3. Our round 2 game was a draw. It was a perpetual in a very chaotic position against a talented young lady. And we're trying to do our best here. We're amongst the leaders. We're playing on board number 4 in this round. Ignore what the number on the table says. That's just because of the setup, so they fixed my table. But it's supposed to be board number 4. We're amongst the leaders. We're doing well. And we have the white pieces here against Cashin McKenna. And the game starts. We're going to go with e4. And he's going to reply a bit unusually with knight c6. But okay, we just play normal civilized chess and we're going to push d4. This is going to allow us to transpose into normal e4, e5 positions. And here I kind of think a little because I decide between pushing d5 and taking on e4, e5. But I decide to take because I've had bad structures when it comes to those pushing d5, knight e7, and then pushing c4 yourself. So I choose to take instead, and I go for this different structure where you play knight f3, with the idea being if they take back your knight in f3, you take with the g-pawn. And it's a different structure, but it's playable and has good win rates for white. So instead he plays queen f6, which is unusual, but is deciding between bishop e2, bishop d2, knight c3. But I settle knight c3 and he plays this bishop pin, very expected on b4. And I respond with bishop d2, just covering myself. And when he plays this trades, I think he expected me to take with the queen, but of course I take with the g-pawn as I expected with the normal knight takes in the beginning. So he had to think for a little bit, and then he pushed this weird c6. Very unusual, wasn't used to this idea, but I just tried to play normal chess, and I played queen e2, trying to just castle and have a normal position. I didn't think it was too bad, but then he plays this weird move, b6. I understood this to fianchetto, but it's just very weird playing two pawn moves in a row, especially when they're flank pawns. So I was a bit hazy. I spent some time thinking, and then I just decided to just go with the expected plan of castling queenside. He plays his bishop b7, very usual, as you'd expect, and then I go for this unusual idea with bishop h3, putting pressure on this d7 pawn if he ever castles queenside, although I do think here he can castle queenside. But instead he opts to play knight e7, and then I try and find this nice tactic here that my eyes were lighting up for, which is bishop takes d7, as you'll see on the screen. And the idea being if he takes with the king, I play bishop g5, attacking the queen, and it comes with check because the rook attacks the king. So I think this shocked him a little bit of a cold shower, and then he kind of had to just resign his position and say, okay, I can't castle anymore, let's put the king on f8 and then hope for the best. And then here I have to come up with a plan. So I play rook g1, rook g1, with the idea being this g7 square is now tender, and if I ever get my bishop on, say, c3, and he plays h6, I don't think it was needed. There's no threats. I wasn't threatening to play bishop h6 or anything. So I think it was a bit of a wasted tempo. Maybe he had something better. But I find this nice idea here with rook g4. Now the idea with the rook g4 is I'm planning to play e5, and the queen is actually trapped. I was thinking about playing e5 first before rook g4, which the engine actually prefers, but I thought, let me just set this trap, and he actually falls for it. He plays rook d8, and now he doesn't realize it, and I'm just holding myself in, double checking my calculations, and then I lash out with this e5, and as you'll see on his face, everything just kind of collapses. He realizes instantly. He winces his face. He looks at the squares. He double checks. He tries to find some weird sacrifice, some intermezzo like bishop takes c3. Is there any way to save his position? And the answer is no. The queen is trapped. He will have to lose material for that queen. And as you can see, I'm looking up at him. I'm trying to make eye contact. I'm saying, are you going to resign or are you going to push on? Do you understand what's happening? You missed a move, and now it's a cold shower moment, the second one of the game after bishop takes d7. I'm looking at the screen, the camera. I'm sipping my water. I'm basically asking, are you resigning? What's going to happen? Are we going to have a quick game? And of course, he's not going to resign because the video is not over. But he eventually has to settle for something, and he plays, the best move in a terrible position, to say it simply. And he plays queen g6, trading the queen for a rook, essentially. And then maybe he has some pressure afterwards, but he has to do that and then hope for the best. He takes back the rook with the knight so he doesn't expose his king. And then I come up with this nice idea here, pushing my pawn e6. The idea being if he takes back, I take with the queen, and then his knight is weak and the queen is near his king, and things can happen. And then he retreats back with the bishop, bishop e7, a bit of an unusual move, but it doesn't do anything harmful. So I just think for a little bit, and then I try and play a normal developing move. Queen e4 is a nice way to kind of pin the bishop on b7, so he can't push the c5 pawn. And he retreats back, bishop c8. And now he offers a trade, but I want to say I'll take the trade on my own terms. Queen takes c6. Now if he takes the bishop, I can take with the pawn. And I'm doing fine. I won a pawn. Here he can threaten knight e5, which I think is a good move. And then in which case, even if I sack the queen for the bishop and the rook, I think I'm doing just fine. He takes their bishop. I take his bishop back. And then he brings in this knight e5, as expected. Here I was deciding between moves. Maybe I should have played queen c7. But I end up playing an inferior move and just giving him the pawn back. And now here I go for the bishop with knight d5, threatening the bishop, and then also I'm opening up my own bishop for its attacks. Very sensible move, but I opt to just kind of simplify things and offer a trade with bishop b4. Now he plays this nice blocking move with knight c5, and I think, okay, I'll just trade away and everything should be okay. Now here I offer another exchange with knight c7, offering rook trade, and he's forced to oblige. We trade rooks. And then he pushes a pawn. Here I give a check, and then I play this other check, and then I play this move knight e8, giving a check. And now if he moves his king, he's going to either lose a rook or get checkmated. So now in this position, he's kind of forced to just give away his rook for some counterplay. And in a very defeated look, he gives away his rook, and now this game is just going to fast forward. There's not much to be done here. As long as I don't blunder some epic pin or give away my queen, the game is over. So some pawn pushes, some queen maneuvering, and eventually he is just forced to resign. And we move to 3.5 out of 4. Very solid looking. Great game, nice attacking spirit. We could have been a bit more accurate at some points, but I think it was a nice game overall. We punished his quick play. We let him use his time when he was already too late. And overall, we're very happy with this game. A good victory with the white pieces, and we'll move on to the next round in the next video. Stay tuned for other videos from this tournament. It was a great event. We finished quite well. I won't spoil anything, but stay tuned for those other videos. We had some good games.